anywhere. In our morning rounds, we look at your style of sleep and how it spills over. New research finds early risers are more punctual than night owls, but can you reset your body clock? That's one of the questions today. Michael Breus is a clinical psychologist and a specialist in sleep medicine and joins us once again at the table.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good to see you. So early risers and night owls, I think it's pretty self-explanatory. But what exactly are the hours that you're talking about? What does it mean?
So early risers are people who have a tendency to go to bed in the 8:30, 9 o'clock range and getting up in the 4:30, 5 o'clock range, whereas night owls are almost the polar opposites. These are people who like to go to bed 11:30, 12:30, like to sleep to maybe 8:30, 9:30, and if left to their own devices, might stay up later and sleep even longer.
Can you be a combination of the two?
You can. That's actually called a hummingbird. So the early morning risers are known as larks, and the late evening are owls. And the hummingbird seems to be the person that can kind of switch back and forth.
Yeah.
So they can either get up early if they need to or stay up late if they need to.
But it's got to be more difficult if you're a hummingbird, right?
Well,
because you're constantly adjusting.
Well, you are constantly adjusting, but for some reason, genetically speaking, that seems to be okay. It's actually harder for an owl to get up early or a lark to stay up late than it is for a hummingbird to kind of flitter around.
So, but what determines which one you are? Is it simply what you're demanding of yourself because of work?
No, actually, it turns out to be genetics. Mother Nature cannot be fooled on this one, especially for the extremes. People seem to be born one or the other. Over the course of time, though, that can change a little bit. As an example, my son, who's 13, wants to stay up late and sleep late like most 13-year-olds will want to do because our biological clock shifts. It's actually all based on core body temperature rhythms. And so if your core body temperature rhythm rises early, you're an early bird. If it rises later, you're a night owl. Then later in life, when you get into the 55, 65 age range, it actually can swing the opposite way. That's kind of where the blue plate special came in, because people were coming in so early.
I thought blue plate was because you're old.
No, it is not just because you're old. I guess it kind of is, but it's really more about that's the time that your body wants to eat, and so people were coming in early, and restaurateurs were able to kind of make hay when the sun shone on them.
What's this about punctuality, that if you are one group of sleeper, you're more punctual?
Well, it's kind of interesting is they looked at college students, and they looked at an 8:15 class in the morning and how many people were there early and how many people were there late, and then they tested them to see which chronotype they were. And not a big surprise here, but the people who were late were night owls. I'd like to see if the study was done in the afternoon, what would happen to the night owls. They might be a little bit more punctual.
If it's genetics, can you change your sleep? I'm surprised to hear it's genetics, but if it is genetics, can you change your sleep style?
To a certain degree, but not all the way. And so you can use things like light therapy or melatonin to be able to shift your internal biological clock. Some people have a disorder called delayed sleep phase syndrome, which is worse. It's like being a night owl on steroids. These are people who can't go to bed before 3 a.m. And then they have to get up regular for work, and so it's very disruptive.
They're called musicians.
Or journalists, right? Or morning journalists.
Yeah, sometimes. Michael Breus, very, very interesting. Thank you very much.
Thanks for having me.